welcome to the channel. My name is Lee and today I am having a very weird day. I have been dealing with some weather issues here in northwestern North Carolina. We've had a ice storm, so it snowed lightly one day and that turned into sleet and everything was covered in ice. I'll show you some video footage and pictures of that. And I have a giant tree branch on my roof. That I don't know how to get off, and I don't have any power either. Fortunately, I am able to charge my phone in my car and using a portable phone charger that I have for backpacking. So I am able to use my phone, which is a godsend, and yeah, it's just been a crazy time. But I figured since I don't have power and I don't have many ways to entertain myself from a technological standpoint, that I would make you guys a video today. And what we are doing is swatching my fountain pen ink collection, which you will know from seeing the video description and the title of this video. So anyway, what I'm gonna do is show you all of my fountain pen inks first and maybe let you know how long I've been using that particular ink and whether I use it regularly today. And also I will do a swatching of these inks, and while I'm swatching I'll go into a little bit more detail about my opinion of the ink itself. So without further ado, please go ahead and like the video and subscribe to the channel and leave any questions or comments in the comments section down below, and let's jump into it. So we have got Watermans Absolute Brown. I found out recently that this is actually a discontinued color. I do really like this ink, but I don't have it currently inked up in any of my pens. I've got this Poussiere de Lune by Herbin. It's kind of like a purpley color, like a deep purple. I also do not have this inked up in any of my pens right now. This is the Diamine Writer's Blood. I think this is a fairly popular ink. I do not have this currently inked up in any of my pens. The Noodlers Black. I do not have this currently inked up in any of my pens. The Noodlers Heart of Darkness, and I do have this inked up in a few of my pens. The Noodlers 54th Massachusetts. I do have this, Albert, excuse my cat. I do have this inked up in a few pens. And the Artramentis Document Ink in Urban Gray. And this is a new ink that I actually have yet to try, so today will be my first time trying it. And that should also make it obvious that I do not have this inked up in any of my pens right now. So that is the lineup. Most of these bottles I've actually had for years now. these two, let's see here. These two are probably the oldest, like literal bottles. The Noodlers Heart of Darkness is probably my most used ink and have been using this ink for the longest. So this is like a re-up bottle. This is not my first bottle of this ink. So these are the oldest ones that I have, followed by this guy, which I bought after my first bottle of Heart of Darkness emptied out. And this one, you can see that I haven't used a ton of it. I just don't like it as much as the Heart of Darkness. Then we have the 54th Massachusetts, which is, again, I've had for a few years. Albert. And, yeah. The Writer's Blood I've only had for maybe about a year or so. And it's an okay ink. It's not my favorite. I'm gonna be kind of explaining to you guys why inks that are like fairly loved are not ones that I tend to use. But yeah, this one is a pretty color, but it didn't speak to me as much as I thought it would. And then my newest ink is the Artramentis Urban Gray, and I got this for Christmas, and like I said before, I haven't tried it yet. Okay, so the way I am gonna do this swatch, I've got some Artramentis olive paper that I'll be working on, and I'm going to be using a dip pen to do like a writing example, and I'll be using a watercolor paintbrush to do the swatches. I know a lot of people like to use Q-tips to do ink swatches. The reason I'm not using Q-tips is because I just don't know when I'm ever using Q-tips to write with ink. So it just doesn't seem very practical to me to use Q-tips. So that is how we're gonna do it. I hope this angle is okay for you guys. I'm gonna start with my Watermans ink here. Just get everything ready to go. So we've got the Watermans, and you will find a fairly common theme as to why I tend to abandon inks to be that they are not waterproof. And that is the case with this Watermans. So that is the, I guess, mass tone of the ink. It's a lovely brown color. I do really like it. And I'll show you what it looks like, kind of diluted. I'm doing this too because, you know, a lot of artists do use inks in their art. And, you know, artists matter too. So there you have the Watermans swatch. And next we are going to do a quick writing. and that is the Watermans Absolute Brown. Things that I love about this for writing is the way the ink kind of adds this like shading impact, and I do love the depth of the color for painting. Next up, we have the Diamine Writer's Blood. This is an ink that I bought just because I was wanting to expand my ink collection, and I think I had my heart set on another color actually, but it was too expensive, so I got this instead. You can see that it's a gorgeous color. I feel like the Diamine inks would make really great inks for artists. If you wanted to primarily use ink in your art. I love the way it disperses here. The main reason that I don't use this in my writing very often, which again you can probably guess, is that it also is not waterproof. And you would think that I would just not have bought these inks knowing that, but the first few inks I ever used for fountain pens were waterproof inks, and I just kind of assumed that that was the standard, which is pretty stupid of me, but that's what happened, and so I really didn't think about that. Also, I mean, this is one that I did buy this after knowing that, but I basically just wanted to expand my horizons and try new things, and I don't necessarily regret buying this because now I know that I wouldn't want to buy it again, but you know, like, does that make sense? Like, if I hadn't bought it already, then I would probably buy it because I don't know that I don't like it. Anyway. Not a bad color by any means. It's really beautiful actually, and it's just not suitable for my needs. And there you have the Diamine's Writer's Blood. The next ink that I am swatching is this Poussiere de Lune by Herbin. I'm probably pronouncing all this wrong, so please forgive me for that. This is also a really lovely color. You can see there's something about in this one is making it kind of resistant to the paper, which is pretty interesting to see. Never actually noticed that before. Again, really beautiful color. I just don't use it because it is not waterproof. Another thing about just having a lot of inks, I'm a bit of the if it's not broken, don't fix it camp. And when I find an ink that I like, I tend not to feel the need to continue purchasing other inks. So for instance, I think a lot of you, if you've watched my other videos, you'll know that I love the Noodlers bulletproof line. And yeah, I don't feel the need to buy a lot of new inks when I already have inks that I'm happy with. And that is the Poussiere de Lune. Another beautiful color. I thought you guys might also like to see how this ink performs with like journaling paper. This is paper from an Archer and Olive notebook. It has not bled through. There is some buckling on the paper from where I applied the mass tones, but you can see it's not like bleeding through the paper at all, which is lovely. So the next inks that we're going to do are the Noodlers inks, and we're starting off with the Noodlers Black. It's just their standard black. It's water-based. And yeah. So there we have it. You can see that it's not like a super opaque ink, which is something that I don't love about it. It kind of has more of a gray tone to it than a solid black tone. I do need to clean. And this one is more waterproof than the other 3 that I showed you, but it is not completely waterproof, so it is going to bleed if it gets wet, even after it has dried. It looks pretty good just for writing, though. And there you have the Noodlers Black. Next up we have the Noodlers Heart of Darkness. And this is by far my favorite black ink. It is permanent once dried, so it does need to dry a little bit to be permanent. So like if you let it partially, it's like a weird thing, something to do with the chemicals that they use to make it, but like they, basically the longer it sets, the more permanent it becomes. And you can see right off the bat that this is a lot darker than the Noodlers Black. And that is something that I love about this ink. And so yeah, you can see that it's already pretty permanent actually. But I will kind of dilute some of it so you can see what it looks like diluted. And yeah, it's just my favorite black ink. Quick little You can see that there's a touch of a warmer tone to this ink compared to the Noodlers Black as well. And there you have the Noodlers Heart of Darkness. Got 2 more inks to go. I am running out of time. I have to be at work at 2 o'clock and it's 1:41. I might save the last one for tomorrow. But we've got the 54th Massachusetts by Noodlers. This is another one of my favorite inks. It's a blue ink, and I just think it is absolutely gorgeous. It is also part of their bulletproof line. I put this down a lot wetter than the other one, but you can see where it already started to dry, and I just really love this ink so much. I probably use it for writing more than any other ink, even more so than the Heart of Darkness. It's just so gorgeous. I really, really love it. And I will show you real quickly, now that it's been drying for a second, that, yeah, it's pretty darn permanent. And there you have the Noodlers, 54th Massachusetts. So this next ink is going to be the Artramentis, I'm sorry, in Herbin Gray. And this is actually my first time using this ink, so I thought I'd quickly unbox it with you guys. That is what the bottle looks like, and let's go ahead and do this swatch. All right. And so this, I guess, will also be my first impressions of this ink. And I can already tell that I am really gonna like this ink. It is a document ink, which for Artramentis, that is to say that it is a permanent ink. And I can see where it already started to form that hard line there, and it's just a nice neutral gray color and really pretty. It. Apparently I can't write right now. And yeah, I can't wait to use this for sketching and writing. It's a really beautiful color. I'm happy with it. And there we have the Artramentis Herbin Gray. And that is going to wrap us up for this video. I hope you enjoyed the swatch of all of my inks for fountain pens. If you have any questions or comments about these fountain pen inks, please leave them in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe to the channel for more videos similar to this one. And yeah, that's gonna be it for the video today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time. Bye.